Welcome, guys, to COVID disease by Dr. Rahul Dandekar. Topic is complications. Okay, prevention of complications. Implement the following interventions to prevent complications associated with critical illness. These interventions are based on surviving space sepsis or other guidelines and are generally limited to feasible recommendations based on high quality evidence. Okay, guys, some complications and their interventions. Okay, first one is reduce days of invasive in mechanical ventilation. For it, we will use wearing protocols that include daily assessment of readiness to breathe spontaneously, minimize continuous or intermittent sedation targeting specific titration endpoints, light sedation unless contraindicated, or with daily interruption or continuous sedative infusions. Now, to reduce incidence of ventilator associated pneumonia, what we will do? We will do this. Oral intubation is preferred to nasal intubation in adolescents and adults. Keep patient in semi-recumbent position, head of bed elevation 30 to 45 degree. Use a closed suctioning system, periodically drain and discard condensate in tubing. Use a new ventilator circuit for each patient. One patient is ventilated. Change circuit if it is soiled or damaged, but not routinely. Change heat moisture exchanger when it is malfunctions when soiled, or every 5 to 7 days. Okay, guys. Now, for this, we will see to reduce incidence of venous thromboembolism. What we will do? Use pharmacologic prophylaxis. Low molecular weight heparin preferred if available, or heparin 5000 units subcutaneously twice daily in adolescents and adults without contraindications. Okay. For those with contraindication, use mechanical prophylaxis, intermittent pneumonic compression devices. Now, to reduce incidence of catheter related bloodstream infection. So what we will do? Use a checklist with completion verified by a real-time observer as reminder of each step needed for sterile insertion and as a daily reminder to remove catheter if no longer needed. Now, to reduce incidence of pressure ulcers, what we will do? Turn patient every 2 hours. Now, to reduce incidence of stress ulcers and gastrointestinal bleeding, so we will give early internal nutrition, that is within 24 to 48 hours of admission. Administer histamine 2 receptor blockers or proton pump inhibitors in patients with risks for GI bleeding. Risk factors for gastrointestinal bleeding include mechanical ventilation more than 48 hours, coagulopathy, renal replacement therapy, liver disease, multiple comorbidities, and higher organ failure score. Reduce incidence of ICU related weakness. Actively mobilize a patient early in the course of illness when safe to do so. Guys, all protocols we have finished. Now last part is Annexure 1 and Annexure 2. In Annexure 1, what is it? Early safe proning in awake non-intubated patients. Okay, any COVID-19 patient with respiratory embarrassment severe enough to be admitted to the hospital may be considered for rotation and early self-proning. Care must be taken to not disturb the flow of oxygen during patient rotation. Typical protocols include 30 to 120 minutes in prone position, followed by 30 to 120 minutes in left lateral decubitus, right lateral decubitus, and upright sitting position. Okay, guys. प्रोन अर्धा ते 2 तास आणि लेफ्ट लॅटरल, राईट लॅटरल अँड अपराईट अर्धा ते 2 तास. ओके. Requirement for use of safe proning in ARDS. Pre-oxygenate the patient with FiO2 1. Secure the endotracheal tube and arterial and central venous catheters. Adequate number of staff to assist in the turn and to monitor the turn. Supplies to turn, pads for bed, seat, protection for the patient. Knowledge of how to perform the turn as well as how to supine the patient in case of an emergency. Contraindications to prone ventilation. Spinal instability requires special care. Intracranial pressure may increase on turning. Rapidly return to supine in case of CPR or defibrillation. Now question is when to start proning. PF ratio less than 150 while being ventilated with FiO2 more than 0.6 and PIP more than 5 cm of water. When to stop proning? When PF ratio exceeds 150 on FiO2 more than equal to 0.60 and 0.6 and more than equal to 6 pip. What portion of the day should patient be kept prone? As much as possible 16 to 18 hours a day. 16 to 18 hours, 16 ते 18 तास. Adult patients with severe ARDS receive prone positioning for more than 12 hours per day. Strong recommendation, moderate high confidence in effect estimates. Okay. Now we are coming to the last step of annexure 2. Here annexure this is for clinical guidance for management of COVID-19 suspect and confirmed case. Here what they have given: COVID-19 suspect or confirmed case, stratification on the basis of disease severity. Mild case, moderate case and severe case. ठीक है, mild case, moderate case and severe case. Let it will come nicely, then we will discuss. Okay, mild case, guys. Mild case is fever or upper respiratory tract infection. So admit to COVID care center CCC or home isolation. Contact and droplet precautions. Strict hand hygiene. Symptomatic management. Tablet hydroxychloroquine 400 mg BD 1 day, followed by 400 mg OD or 200 mg BD for 4 days. May be considered in patient with high risk features, preferably after shifting to DCSC or at home under strict medical supervision. CCC and DCSC. For home isolation, patients seek medical attention when following warning symptoms and or signs occur. Difficulty in breathing, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, mental confusion or inability to arouse, developing bluish discoloration of lips or face, decreased urine output. Be advised by treating medical officer. Okay, so this is mild case. Now moderate. Mild is fever and cough, moderate is pneumonia, and severe is ARDS, sepsis and septic shock. Now we will see moderate. Moderate case is pneumonia with no signs of severe disease. Respiratory rate 24 per minute. and SpO2 less than 94% on room air. Admit in dedicated COVID health center DCSC. Oxygen support. Target SpO2 92 to 96% range. In COPD patient 82 to 88 to 92%. Preferred device for oxygenation, non-rebreathing face mask. If HFNC or simple nasal cannula is used, N95 mask should be applied over it. Awake proning may be used as a rescue therapy, NIH protocol. All patients should have only daily 12 lead ECG. Follow CRP, D-dimer and ferritin every 48 to 72 hours if available. CBC with differential count, absolute lymphocyte count, KFT, LFT daily. Tablet hydroxychloroquine 400 mg one day and followed by 200 mg BD for 4 days. After ECG assessment, QT interval more than 5. It should be less than 5 millisecond. Consider IV prednisolone 0.5 to 1 mg per kg or dexamethasone 0.1 to 0.2 mg per kg for 3 days, preferably within 48 hours of admission or if oxygen requirement is increasing. Anticoagulation. Prophylactic dose of UFH or LMWH. Enoxaparin 40 mg daily subcutaneous. Monitor for and shift to OCH if any other following occurs. Increase work of breathing, use of accessory muscles. Hemodynamic instability and increase in oxygen requirement. Okay, mild case fever and cough. Moderate case is pneumonia and severe case is ARDS, sepsis and septic shock. Okay, severe case is respiratory distress requiring mechanical ventilation, non-invasive and invasive. Respiratory rate more than or equal to 30 per minute and SpO2 less than 90% on room air. Admit in dedicated COVID hospital, OCH, dedicated COVID hospital. So hospitals, 3 hospitals are different. CCC, COVID Care Center, DCSC, Dedicated COVID Health Center. Here, dedicated COVID hospital, DCH or OCS, DCH. Precautions trial of CPAP with oronasal mask or NIV with helmet interface or HFNC if work of breathing is low. Maintain euvolemia. Consider IV methylprednisolone 1 to 2 mg per kg per day or dexamethasone 0.2 to 0.4 mg per kg per day for 5 to 7 days or in 2 divided doses if not given already. High prophylactic dose of UFH or LMWH, for example enoxaparin or 40 mg or 0.5 mg per kg BD subcutaneously if not at high risk of bleeding. Consider intubation if work of breathing is high or non-tolerating NIV. Ventilator management. Use conventional ARDS, NET protocol, LTV, proning, etc. If sepsis or septic shock, manage as per existing protocol and local antibiogram. Use sedation and nutrition therapy as per existing guidelines. Okay guys, we'll see again. This testing. Testing, what testing will do? While attending suspect case as per above protocol based on clinical assessment, testing shall be resorted to, and if negative, managed in non-COVID facility according to clinical diagnosis. Okay. Discharge. After clinical improvement, discharge as per discharge policy. Investigation or therapy: remdesivir, tocilizumab, convalescent plasma. Okay. Now, what is high risk patient for severe disease? So this is age 60 years or more, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, other immunocompromised states, chronic lung and kidney and liver disease, cerebrovascular disease, obesity, BMI more than 25 kg per meter square. Low molecular weight heparin if no contraindications, high risk of bleeding. UFH, unfractionated heparin, risk of bleeding. Use validated score for assessing bleeding risk, for example Hasbled score. Now use D-dimer and SIC score for further risk stratification. SIC score more than 4 portends high thrombotic risk. Follow AHA-ESC and ISSTH guidelines in case patient is on antiplatelet agents. Higher chances of NIV failure. Informed and shared decision making is essential before prescribing any of these therapies. Okay guys, we finish this. Thank you.